Oceanside. They've had all these interceptions. Mission Hills, that huge penalty back there that kept this drive alive. And so, it's tit for tat. Each team committing some transgressions, not allowing them to optimize their success. But right now, 20-6, a huge play. Mission Hills would really be in good shape if they're able to get a stop here. And conversely, Oceanside would be right back in it if they scored a touchdown.
This Oceanside defense, check it, this Mission Hills defense, rather, has recorded 2 shutouts, and they have given up all of 34 points on the year. The one team that has scored the most against him was Rancho Bernardo, who's not having a very good year, but the Broncos in week number 2 at RB lost 28-21. They're the team that has scored the most. So 3 touchdowns by the Broncos, only 1 by Bonita Vista, no scores by Desert Vista or Valley Center. And Oceanside has 1 touchdown, looking for its second to stay in this ball game, and this very well could be the ball game here.
Great camera angle right there on the 1-yard line.
And it looks like they're going to give it to Bernard, and Mission Hills denies him the end zone. As if they knew which play was being called.
Well, to revisit the keys to the game, we talked about how Oceanside need to dominate the trenches. Right there, they got dominated. Mission Hills does a great job firing at the legs of the offensive linemen of Oceanside, and then the linebackers come over top. Coach Hauser talked about how he'd put 43 and 44 up against anybody else's linebackers in the county. And you see right there Fred Warner, Ricky Luchin coming up big, making the plays when it needs to be made, and so they preserved their 2-touchdown lead against Oceanside towards the end of the 3rd quarter. Take a look at it again.
Looks like it was Luchin. It was Luchin, the first one in there. That they knew it was going to Bernard. And Luchin keeps him out along with his fellow black shirt defenders. And for the 2nd time of the football game, Mission Hills is going to take over at the 1-yard line.
And so you look at Oceanside and they lose to Sarah, and you think, okay, maybe the state championship's out of the realm of possibility. And then now you're losing, you're in danger to losing to Mission Hills, and you're like, all right, well, our city undefeated record this year might be at risk too. So just things kind of getting checked off, but they're going to be there at the end. That Oceanside's going to be finishing. They're going to be in the championship, playing tough in the semis, wherever they end up, and a lot of respect still for John Carroll. But right now, Matt Hauser and his Mission Hills Grizzlies look like they're living right, playing well, up 20-6, and just trying to get out from the shadow of their own goalpost.
Well, the interesting thing is you talk about Oceanside and playing for state championships, but Mission Hills very well could be in the discussion if they were on the table when it's all said and done. Another short run as they try and get it out. Hear me out on this one. They're in the open division. You beat Oceanside here. You come back. You beat them again in the postseason, and you're sitting there looking at 13-0. And with the way the polls and the bowl rankings were going last year, Connor Wynn and his team almost at the very end had a chance to get in.
And that Rancho Bernardo game this year was a little bit of a misnomer. Wynn was hurt. They had to start Drew Stetz. A lot of that. Just tough quarterback situation right there for him. But looking every bit the part of a #1 team in San Diego tonight.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter here from a packed house at Mission Hills High School. And the Grizzlies owning the 3rd quarter. The #2 team in San Diego County has a 14-point lead.
I'm Julie Garcia, and I've got a brand new show called SoCal Beat. It's all about the music right here in Southern California. There are always new movements and artists, and I'm always on the hunt to bring you new sounds in SoCal before they hit it big. So you and your headphones will always be one step ahead.
We're SoCal Mondays. Watch SoCal Beat Mondays at 9 p.m. Only on Time Warner Cable, SoCal 101.
It'll be our loud little secret.
Let's face it, the pressure's on here in Southern California to look good and feel great. Hi, I'm Marissa Kirby, the host of a new show on Time Warner Cable called Get Fit. Each week, we're going to be exploring the latest fitness, diet, and health trends here in Southern California.
We're SoCal Mondays. Watch Get Fit Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Only on Time Warner Cable, SoCal 101.
So lace up your running shoes because we are going to get fit.
Start of the 4th quarter. #1 ranked Oceanside has turned it over 5 times. Mission Hills a huge goal line stand, and it's Mission Hills by 14 with 12 minutes to go. Down to the field we go. Allie Sturm. Allie.
Thank you, Steve. All right now I am here with the president of Foot Locker, which we've been hearing a lot about tonight. So can you tell us a little bit about this system?
Yes, we met with Chris Hauser, the coach, a few weeks ago, and he really liked the system, allowed us to test it here. And essentially, it's a fundraising system. In the old days, the Booster Club would bake cakes and raffle them out to raise funds for the team. This is the high-tech version of it. And basically, the Booster Club, we have 4 cameras that are filming the game from all over the field on both sides. And the spectators can get the highlights right on their phones and tablets while they're sitting in the stands. They can also, after the game, go home and download it. And the Booster Club will then sell access to that video and then raise funds that way.
Very interesting. So I'm also with the president of the Boosters Club, and I understand this is going to be helping a lot with fundraising in Mission Hills. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, we hope in the future, once we perfect this product, is we'll be able to sell access to this application. And what happens in the stands is instantly, whether you're a parent or a fan, you can see a highlight from any play that happened. Tonight we're recording, the system's working great, and we probably have 30 highlights of plays that we couldn't quite see, but now we can. So as far as it goes for fundraising, what's going to happen is when we sell this, I'm sure that everyone in the stands is going to want to buy it.
That sounds great. Well, you guys, you know what? I'm just going to be stealing this iPad right now and going to take a look at this during the 4th quarter. Thanks.
Thank you very much. All right, Alex, see if you can get me some old school shoes, some Converse high tops.
Yeah, be looking real fresh down there.
For me.
Yeah,
that thing's really cool, though. We were playing with it beforehand.
No, exactly. We checked out one of those field goals on here, and you know, true to form. You got that sideline camera. You saw the big boot. You know, the whole deal. And it was clipped down nicely, well edited, quick turnaround. Well done by the Replay Locker crew.
Now all they have to do is get a feature where, you know, social media, and you can bag on the coach there, and you know, everyone will be excited.
Yeah, post it to Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and everything, right? And just yeah, everybody's getting just ganging up on him, like you said.
Final 12 minutes of football. Number 1 ranked Oceanside in trouble. They're down 14 points to a Mission Hills team that is ranked 2nd in San Diego County, who is yet to win in this series. 7th time these two teams have played. Mission Hills 0-5-1. A big 3rd down as they're pinned back inside their own 6. And they'll keep it on the ground. They try and run it out, and they're going to be short of a 1st down, and Mission Hills will have to punt it away.
You got to feel like today's society, all these, you know, women my age trying to get married, they say always a bridesmaid, never a bride, you know, never at the altar. So Mission Hills has got to feel like they're just chasing that oh so elusive band on the ring finger. And so right now, they'd be married to a victory if they're able to come away with this one. And so 14 points, going to rely on their strength, the defense, the defense, the defense. They say it wins championships. Well, tonight it very well might win them this game against the number 1 ranked team in San Diego, give them their first win ever against them.
They better cover this kick, though. One heck of a kicker there in Centeno. Punting out of his own end zone, gets it off, and does a nice job, I think, kicking it out of bounds. Now, Oceanside's going to get great field position to start here inside Mission Hills territory. But with the way the Grizzlies have played defense, I think I'd rather play defense at the 40-yard line than give Cottrell any chance at a return.
And I agree with that. And it seems like the red zone has been like daylight to a vampire. They don't want any part of being in there. And so they get down there and they can't finish. The last drive you saw, they got stood up on the 1-yard line, couldn't finish. They got, an interception down there, a fumble down there. It's just been tough to watch. This Oceanside offense sputtering in Mission Hills territory. And so right now they're back at it again.
11:05 to go here in the 4th quarter play. And a timeout being called, and Mission Hills will spend their 2nd. Well, this is interesting. They'll have just 1 left the rest of the way out. They had to spend one prior to a fantastic goal line stand, and that helped save them at least 6 points. The story in this one has been number 1 ranked Oceanside turning it over 4 times in the game, and Mission Hills has made them pay almost every time. And Mission Hills, at the end of the 3rd quarter, a huge goal line stand. And Mission Hills leads it by 14 with 11:05 to go.
And I would say that, calling a timeout there might not be the best call, but you saw what they did earlier. They got that stop after they called the timeout on 4th down. And so right here, make sure your defense is aligned because one play could end it for you.
Coming up Thursday at 8, Game Changers tells the inspiring stories of high school coaches that have changed their schools, their sport, and the lives of their players. Next week, Notre Dame football coach Kevin Rooney, Northview wrestling coach David Ochoa, and Simi Valley cross country coach Roger Evans. Game Changers, Thursdays at 8 right here on SoCal 101 HD. And there's another pick, the third of the game by Holiday. Might it be a pick six? It will be. This bad boy just about over, partner.
You know, you want to quote the late, great Chick Hearn. You know, this one's in the refrigerator, right? The butter's getting hard, the eggs are cooling, and the Jell-O is jiggling. A 3-touchdown lead with Matt Romero really struggling. He hitched up in the pocket a couple times there. You see it. He's trying to find his passing lane. He looks out to the right. He sees fool's gold. That's Pyrite. You think Michael Holder's open, but he's not. Deshaun Holiday, again, taking a 3-day weekend. Call Friday a holiday. He's taking it off, taking it all the way. About a 70-yard pick six for a touchdown. And like you said it, that is a huge play for this Mission Hills team.
5th turnover of the football game by Oceanside, who unravels here in the second half. Remember, this was a 6-6 ball game at half.
And so when you get to your receiver late, there's all sorts of problems. So you're reading this progression. So Matt Romero, he gets the ball, drops back, and he's looking around. He's surveying the scene, so he's working the left side. He doesn't like what he sees. It's a condensed side, so he works back to the right, the wide side of the field. Michael Holder stops coming back to the ball, but you know who doesn't stop coming back to the ball? Deshaun Holiday. He's come back to the ball at least 3 times today. That's why he's got 3 interceptions. And you want to talk about a player of the game. Centeno's been great, and Ricky Luchin's been outstanding. Connor Wynn's delivered the ball on time, but this wouldn't be the game that it was without Deshaun Holiday's contributions, and that one being the biggest of his 3 interceptions.
A pick six for Holiday. And it is now a 27-6 ball game. A 3-touchdown lead for Mission Hills, and they can feel it. 5 turnovers tonight for number 1 ranked Oceanside.
And Steve, I said 6 would be what they would need to win this game if they kept up that production. I think 5 might get it done tonight. 5 might be enough, especially with one of them being a pick 6. Now Mission Hills just has to steer the ship. Don't crash into the iceberg. You got the Titanic right now. Just keep it going.
Returnable for Whitaker. High steps a man, still on his feet, and this drive will start just shy of the 30-yard line. Boy, Romero again had no interceptions thrown in his first 4 games. And when we saw him in week number 1, he had just won the starting job the Thursday prior to that game against Saints that we did. It was him and Dakota Miller. The third quarterback was Josh Harris from Helix High School. But at the time, you know, his transfer had just been approved, and he wasn't really into the system yet. He didn't know the terminology.
Well, you want to talk about Josh Harris.
Yep.
He's getting an opportunity right now.
And Harris lost it. It's loose, and it is turnover number 6 for number 1 ranked Oceanside.
I said it would take 6 to win it, Steve, and regardless of whether or not I was right, 6 is what it was. And so a bad low snap and then reckless ball security right there. This has got to be one of the most frustrating losses, presumably, of Coach Carroll's career. So you see the low snap. Harris, not a lot of game experience, trying to escape the pocket right there. Bad ball security. Talk about 5 points of pressure. You need to contact it with your fingers, your hand, your forearm, your bicep, your chest. He was lucky to have 2 there and unlucky to lose the ball. 6th turnover right there. And I don't know who they're going to put in a quarterback. If you got a jersey and some eligibility left, Steve, you might want to hop down there because John Carroll could use you.
We saw them play an awful third quarter in that opener against St. Augustine. I think we said it a couple times, perhaps the worst quarter that we've ever seen them play, but they have been even worse here tonight in the third and the start of the fourth quarter. I don't think Oceanside has ever turned it over 6 times in a season. On the reverse, here's Higgins. Higgins with a run. Higgins trying to find the end zone, and Josh Bernard pushed him out of bounds at the 6-yard line. They're just toying with him right now.
They've broken Oceanside's spirit. The offense isn't picking up the defense. The defense isn't picking up the offense. And what was the number 1 team in San Diego County looks to be no longer, because Mission Hills has got all the answers tonight. Scott Higgins, an impressive run there, able to stiff arm TK Dodds off of him. The ball down to the 6-yard line, and now just a matter of time. Punch this one in, take a 4-score lead. And that 5-0-1 record will finally have a 1 in the loss column for Oceanside, and it'll flip the other way. You'll finally get a 1 in the win column for that Mission Hills Grizzlies team who has wanted this one so desperately.
Mission Hills opens up Avocado Eagle East play. And it is Wynn being pulled down from behind there by Isaiah Harris. And you take a look at the dominance here in this series. And Mission Hill's trying to get their very first win. There's been a tie that was 2 years ago here on this field at 10-10. But Mission Hills looks like they're going to be 1-5-1 lifetime against Oceanside. But I think you're going to see the monkey run across Woodland Parkway, off the backs of Mission Hills on the 78 and sprint probably west.
And the most points they've ever scored in a game against Oceanside was 28, and it looks like they're well in position to score at least 30, if not 33 or 34 by the end of this drive. And who knows, even more, because the way that Oceanside's been protecting the ball, I think no drive is safe, no ball is safe, and no player is capable of protecting it in the proper fashion out there. So I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. Certainly Dakota Miller down there on JV. Matthew Romero struggled all night tonight. Josh Harris in his one play fumbled the ball away. Looked like he might have had some room to run, but the room to run's no good if you can't hold on to the ball. So the lack of security that Oceanside has at quarterback is the complete opposite of the situation that Mission Hills had. Connor Wynn has been great when he's needed to be. Done a great job passing the ball and managing this offense. And so now 27-6 and still trying to add on more.
3rd and goal from the 10. Wynn to Holiday, and he dropped it. The only negative play tonight for the youngster.
I mean, the icing has already been on the cake for him. That would have been a cherry on top and some nuts and some, whatever toppings, delicacies you wanted to put on your outstanding cake, because he has baked, he has mixed, he has made the ingredients. He's the cook, the chef, the server, everything. And right there, Holiday unable to haul it in, but Centeno's been pretty consistent, pretty regular here, and looking to see if they could score 30 points here and be the most points that they've scored against an Oceanside squad.
That should be a chip shot for him, and he gets it. His 3rd field goal of the night. This from 27 yards out, and that makes it a 30-6 ball game. Wow, it was 6-6 at the half until Oceanside implodes in the second half with 3 more turnovers. 6 total for the game. Centeno has hit a 44-yarder, a 50-yarder, and a 27-yarder now, and has scored 9 points.
Well, and isn't that how it goes? Coach Hauser's talking about how, they just want to punt and change the field position, and, the game's not going to be a blowout. We just want to keep it close. He's talking all that coach speak and just really trying to, get his guys to believe that they can do it. And, and I said at halftime, hey, 6-6, you got to give more effort, because though it's tied, you've got to work harder to really spring the upset. Well, they worked harder. They outworked, they outcoached, they outschemed, they outperformed. Everything was better for Mission Hills tonight. And so you can take all the scholarships you want on Oceanside right now. They'll be happy to play collegiately next year. But you want to talk about playing well on any given Friday night. And tonight, Mission Hills, the better squad by far. You see right now a 30-6 lead.
Both teams into league play next week, and if you start looking ahead for Mission Hills, they'll take on Escondido next week, a game they should win, and really only one super tough game to go, and that would be in 2 weeks against San Pasqual. And San Pasqual at that time is likely to be unbeaten and likely to be ranked 2nd. So we could be talking about 1 versus 2 again in 2 more weeks between Mission Hills and San Pasqual. And get past that, and you might be in a discussion for a regional bowl berth at the end of the year.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, this is just, that's why you play the game. That's what they say. And so far you've seen it. Oh,
Holiday almost got a 4th.
And if he'd have kept his head up, he might have been able to get that. So Josh Harris struggling. This time right now might be more about Harris trying to see what he's capable of doing in terms of leading an offense. But I've been very impressed with Holiday and his effort tonight. Just outstanding cornerback play, driving on the ball, staying with the man. He got beat, I think, once earlier tonight on a post down the middle, but he was right there, able to make the play. It was just a well-thrown ball, and sometimes you got to tip your hat to the other guy. But Holiday has been all over these receivers. A great job by him and a complete game changer.
Josh Harris is a senior, a transfer from Helix, and on 2nd down and 10, he's only able to go forward for a couple of yards, bringing up a 3rd down and long.
And so what I do, Steve, is what worked so well for Oceanside earlier, just get the ball to Ty Cottrell in the middle of the field. I don't know the best ways to do that. It looked like the ball was coming out there, too, trying to have turnover number 7. But just get the ball to Ty Cottrell. Put him on a slant, a crossing pattern, a post, a 10-yard in, whatever you want to do. Ty Cottrell's the playmaker out there. He's the only one who's really had a ton of success tonight.
That's Bernard. That goes nowhere, and a 4th down coming. I don't have access to this, but I can't imagine Oceanside has been down as many as 24 points in literally the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, even against some of the best teams in the nation, and they take them all on. They challenge all comers. Playing against Sarah Gardena, who at the time by Max Preps was ranked 2nd in the nation. And other periodicals and other publications had him certainly ranked at least within the top 50. I mean, that game was seesaw back and forth, and only late, did Sarah pull away with a 50-39 victory. But you're absolutely right. I've never seen Oceanside down 24, and for them to lose by 24 would even be more of an anomaly, a statistical outlier. So the Mission Hills offense back at it again with looking to be over 7 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and I'm sure they're just trying to, like I said, just steer the ship, just stay straight. But the way Connor Wynn's been playing, I wouldn't doubt the ability to put up more points on the board.
They're going to start this drive at the 40 with 7:15 to go in the final quarter. Football Fridays here in San Diego. Here's what's on tap ahead. October the 11th, we're at Vista. Battle of the City of Vista, RBV at Vista. And then on the 25th, I know I have this one, I think, with you. The Holy Bowl, Saints at Cathedral. And the end of the year, I have this one as well. Torrey Pines at LCC. That was a huge game last year, decided on a batted down Hail Mary pass late. And Torrey Pines winning that battle of the San Diego School District.
Been pretty lucky to have some good games, and then really lucky, obviously, to work with you, Steve.
Well,
it's a gift. You're such an icon in the industry, and you've steered me.
Revenue generator is what they like to call.
Yeah, you're a money man. And I got a lot of appreciation for you. I'm sure Time Warner does. Ned, our producer, in the truck, I'm sure he's got a little bit of love for you too. Not too much, but.
And Allie's down there trying to find those Converse high-top shoes for me. I get you.
Yeah, everybody's pulling the rope in the same direction, Steve.
This drive starts now at the 48-yard line, and they're in no hurry. I want to get up a couple of first downs here and try and chew up the clock. Coming up on 7 minutes to go. Oceanside has turned it over 6 times in the game, and Mission Hills has made them pay each and every time.
With the way that your defense is playing right now, the game plan is run, 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 punt, run, 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 punt. Don't get your quarterback hurt. Don't get your offensive lineman hurt. Just finish the game. Close it out. Your defense has been nails. Even if they do score 3 touchdowns, they got to score 3 2-point conversions. I mean, you're really talking about something that's not going to happen. And so 30-6 right now. Play it safe.
24-0 is what Mission Hills has outscored Oceanside here in the second half of play as Centeno moves the ball forward for a short little gain.
And so running back by committee, looks like it's worked out pretty well. I'm sure Anthony Bautista wanted to be a part of this victory, but he's there in spirit. He'll hopefully be there throughout the rest of the season and have an opportunity to continue to contribute, certainly if they make it to the playoffs, because a rematch against Oceanside and a motivated Oceanside team might be even more difficult than this game was. And that's not going to be at home. It could potentially be at a neutral site like the Q. So looking down the road, obviously, and there's a lot left to go for still both of these teams, but
here's Luchin, and Luchin trying to battle his way for the first down. It'll be a couple of yards short. In the open division, Poway is a team that's in there. They got beat last week, 61-0 by Oceanside. Helix is in there as well as Torrey Pines, who was 500 coming into their game with Mount Carmel tonight. Eastlake is always a big threat. Mission Hills, LCC, and Steel Canyon. So you'd have to think the 1 and 2 now probably wind up being Mission Hills and Eastlake, and you could be talking about Oceanside being a 3 seed in the open division.
And how upset would you be if you were a 2 seed, thinking that, okay, we get to see them maybe in the championship, but if they play their way out of the 1 seed, that's why you play the games. And then you go to that seeding meeting. I mean, that Oceanside legacy, you feel like that alone would earn you a 1 or a 2 seed, but you got to go out there and you got to win and compete.
They go for it on 4th down, and diving forward is Connor Wynn, and they get the first down. They don't need to punt yet.
No, and just a tip of your cap there to the Mission Hills coaching staff there, just creating a scheme and a setup, knowing that, in a short down and distance, you create some sort of exotic look. The Oceanside defenders don't know how to respond to it, and again, they're able to milk the clock. And Coach Carroll, I'm sure at this point, just wants to see the clock run down here too. He'd like to maybe get a little bit more work at quarterback, but this is just antagonizing and painstaking to watch the fact that they're not able to be in this game this late.
And there's Luchin, and a 7-yard gain on that run. And Oceanside averages almost 46 points has been held to 1 touchdown and a missed PAT.
Exactly. And Oceanside looks like a team whose will has been broken. Guys not able to get off blocks in there. You see Isaiah Harris and Alex Moran both just kind of getting clogged up in there. And Ricky Luchin all too happy to go off left tackle there and just hammer the ball home. And so consuming clock, another first down looks to be imminent. First down gain potentially for Mission Hills and just keeping the clock rolling.
Wynn slings it out and a catch is made there. And that is Cannon Terrell with his first grab of the game.
And a great play design there. Everybody's expecting the run. They get Cannon Terrell out there in the flat. And then great decision by Terrell not to go out of bounds. He's got all sorts of running room out there, but that's not going to keep the clock running. So instead, he just keeps the drive alive, keeps things moving. 4 minutes left to go, and the clock's just dripping away. And that's what it's about. You don't want to give Oceanside any opportunity because you've seen crazy things. You know, you've seen big comebacks. You saw Frank Reich and the Bills as a second-string quarterback, you know, come back from like 28 points down against the Houston Oilers back in the day. Stuff like that happens, and so there's no need to have any funny business. Mission Hills just needs to make this a formality.
Penalty marker as Luchin gets run out to the outside. So Oceanside's going to drop to 3-2. They'll drop out of the #1 spot on the poll, and they'll be on the road for 3 more weeks. They go to Carlsbad next, then at Vista, and then at Ramona. And then finish up at home against LCC and El Camino. Quite a busy schedule ahead for a team that'll be 3-2 now, officially out of, I would say, any discussion for a bowl.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty safe to say. I mean, you're going to you know, if your only 2 losses are to Sarah and to Mission Hills, you're going to be losing to good company. But a loss is a loss. We saw teams with 1 loss get excluded from those conversations last year. So just a real testament, I think, to the Mission Hills game plan, the staff, the administration, everybody putting this thing together, and you know, just an exciting night for them.
You know, a team like Long Beach Poly with that schedule out of the southern section could survive 3 losses and still play for a Division I championship last year, but they had to beat 11 really good teams. I'm not sure that Oceanside has the schedule ahead to do that. And there is Esteban Centeno with a run, and we go down to the field. Allie Sturm. Allie?
Thanks, guys. So right now I'm here with these golden cheerleaders who are really excited about tonight's win. How are you guys feeling? We're feeling really good.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We've been wanting to play Oceanside and beat them. I've been here for 3 years and we've never beat Oceanside, so this is really good for the cheerleaders and the boys. I know the boys will be really excited.
All right, it's a really exciting win here tonight. And are you guys, how big is this rivalry to you? Have you been pumped up for this game? What have you been doing to prepare?
We've just been trying, like, the boys have been practicing really, really hard, and we've been trying to, like, get our cheers and everything and just keep up our spirit.
Well, the girls are definitely doing awesome by keeping up their spirit. They've been beautiful and just cheering along tonight. So they're going to come away with the win. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Allie. And there'll be a train of folks across the 78, wherever they're going to go celebrate this one tonight. This is the biggest win in school history, no doubt. We told you they've been in 3 CIF championship games, twice defeated by Oceanside. Relatively new school, too. And last year they were beaten in the championship game by Eastlake. And by far the biggest win in school history for Mission Hills, and seen by many.
And how do you think Connor Wynn feels about it? You know, I mean, he was at Oceanside. He knew Coach Carroll in that program. You know, circumstances brought him here, and just trying to compete, trying to win and pull it out against, you know, the program in San Diego. And it looks like he's done it tonight here.
And one in which he can call up his older brother, who was at Utah and now is a coach of the quarterbacks at Hawaii, and say, guess what I did? I know the dad. I'm Facebook friends with Connor's dad, so he'll be all over Facebook if he isn't already. Should I check right now and see?
Yeah, get that live feed going. So right there you saw Mission Hills just playing it safe, just trying to milk the clock. Just over a minute left, clock rolling. They're going to punt here, just kick it away, probably even kick it out of bounds. No need to cover down, hurt anybody, and just make the rest of this game a formality.
And it will be a rare, debilitating loss for Oceanside. It has been a while since we've seen them play this poorly. They did play poorly at stretches against Saints, but they were just so good in week 1 that they pulled away with a 47-28 win. Remember that game? They were up 28-0 at halftime. And then Saints had a great third quarter. Oceanside kind of shot themselves in the foot during that third quarter. And here, during the third and fourth quarters, 3 of their 6 turnovers. This was a 6-6 tie at the half. And a huge third quarter for Mission Hills. Had that big goal line stance as well. And that had to be the play of the game here.
And so when you make those mistakes like you did against St. Augustine and things start hanging around and you don't, you win with them, and so you think maybe they're okay, and so it's a death by 1,000 paper cuts. Just a bunch of little things contributing to the defeat. And